sometimes it's great, or sometimes it's just, you gotta watch the last few minutes.
I know, right? That's the other thing about sports.
You can watch the last few minutes, you get the whole thing.
Yeah, I miss the, that whole thing.
I have to say though, I wonder if the president going is doing a good thing like that.
I don't know, it's hard to say.
So the rabbi was with you, so there's four of us.
Yeah, and Lisa said she was gonna bring someone. So, and then she said, I don't know if she was joking, she said she was gonna bring two more people.
I think it's lighting here in the back. Really.
Yeah, they go. Nice, finally,
Opens the room up.
finally, I can hear.
You can see.
Yeah. You can use the same here.
Yeah. See how makes that
Those like much better, much.
LED, whatever that.
LED.
My brother, I don't know why, I'm sure they have these, the lights that you can change colors, with like Google, it's
Yeah,
Google.
Right.
Oh,
You should get that.
Little discotheque here.
Balls.
also when you buy those, the one you put in the kitchen,
Yeah.
you have three settings. You have warm, which is more yellow, and you have cold, which is like.
Nice.
I don't like the white. I put them on yellow.
My son really ate. It's good.
Yeah, you I ate so much that I said, look at her. I mean, of course I was.
You gained a pound.
But I needed to walk because it's just like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty nice finish. You go tonight, right? We can go, we're gonna get together. When I was when I went to Vermont, they used to have like a dinner dance, which I was on the chorus, so we performed. My father made it. No, we had an accompaniment. He thought it would get me into good college. I don't know, maybe it helped, but I think there were a few
If
rounds.
you know what I'm saying.
We used to go, and they used to let us go to the cocktail hour, which is like the best thing. I think that's all there is now. Yeah, before like the maid sits down or whatever. And I think that's
So
all there is
we
now.
sing during the.
And then we sang at the end. I think it was like before dessert or something. It was a big 20-minute performance. You know, they're trying to raise money for the school, so they want to show, oh, these are rusted money kids. Are we switching the clocks like in a month or so? I know. And then it gets so late that you don't do it anyway. Be nice. Is it snowstorm tonight or is it tomorrow?
Tonight. But not till later. Not till later, right? We'll push it to 9, 10 o'clock? Something like that.
Tomorrow's the World Wide Rap, so probably later. Tomorrow.
So we. How you feeling? It's not happening.
Almost there. 90%, yeah.
Oh, good.
Hey, your body temperature's 90, that's very low.
Cold-blooded. So who are we rooting for tomorrow?
Eagle.
Kansas City. Wow. Okay.
Kansas City.
Kansas City?
There's not too many Philadelphia.
You don't have to be a fan of Philadelphia.
You act like Kansas City, it's kind of like the election.
Kansas
That's true. You don't have to support the candidate, you just have to be
Good.
See, I have a theory that it's not, and I fully own up to being, let's say, to having learned this from within myself, that it's not that you don't want Philadelphia to win. it's that you don't want the fans of the Philadelphia Eagles to have something to celebrate. No, yeah, given, but it's not that you care about Philadelphia Eagles winning, it's that we don't want the fans of the Philadelphia Eagles to celebrate. Right? That's like, it's not like I don't really care if the Yankees win, the Yankees, the team, right? The players, some of them are great players, good guys, like, why shouldn't they win, right? I just don't want my friends who are Yankees fans to have something to, like, rub in my face and celebrate. Because they're usually very obnoxious about it.
Nowadays, I don't know if it's always been the case, fans are like going crazy when they lose, like, like looting and like.
Well, certain cities.
Yeah.
Philadelphia,
Also Kansas
Baltimore,
wins the
Detroit.
Three-peat, yeah.
Remember they had a big thing after the Canal.
No one's ever won 3 in a row.
New York, they don't do it, right? New York,
But they always change the rules, so it doesn't really count, you know?
Oh, I live in Kansas City.
oh, you live there? Oh, okay, that's fair. How long did you live there for?
3 years. And spent a lot of time in Royal Stadium and a little bit in Arrowhead.
You know, baseball, we talk about,
How many yards?
you can't compare batters in one era or pitchers in one era to
You know,
another.
David Rosenthal with the.
Because strength,
So he legitimately likes them, and there are a few other people, a couple of, maybe I know, like 2
Doping.
the doping, but football, does have those issues, because that's right, but also, like, they change the rules every
There's two
year.
of them, right? There's
So
one
the
in
sport,
trying to improve Missouri.
no, they don't try to improve it, they try to maximize
They try to shorten it.
investment. They try to invest in, they try to
Kansas
maximize
City.
the return on the dollar for their owners, that's what they try to do. And
Went there, we moved there.
it's not a sport, it's not the same.
Temples before.
It's actually,
So they took us,
they don't call it a
took us
sport,
one.
they call it sport entertainment.
We joined the small one,
What is
which
that?
had 1,200 families.
Definitely a business story.
Yeah.
The big one was
How they work.
And baseball is a business too, but
conservative
it has rules,
Business.
Orthodox.
it's got rules.
The money they pay
The
these
mayor of
players
Kansas
is
City was Jewish.
obscene.
And
We
where
pay
I
it.
lived,
It comes from us, you know, it's not like
just on the other side, I lived in Kansas,
people pay for
but
sports.
that's where Tommy Watson, the old golfer, played at a country club. So my backdoor neighbor were the Halls, as Hall. Around the corner was Huey Kaufman on his estate. He owned the Royals and Barry Labs, Russell Stover. Was down the street. And they used, their motto in the city was, America's best kept secret. It was inexpensive relatively. But there was a shopping area downtown Kansas City.
Kansas City?
Yeah.
Yeah, but boring.
No,
I know.
not at all. So country club, no, not all, country club plaza. It's outdoor. Yes, yep. So people say to my wife, he's taking me to Kansas City, you're moving out of Sands Point, you're going to Kansas City? Jog, I would go down this main road. It was built as a replica of Seville, Spain. So the boulevards are these wide boulevards with side roads and grass medians, and in every major intersection was one of these massive fountains with the road, and it was amazing. And the stores, Gucci, Tiffany, Pierre Dude, it was just like the Miracle Mile. So we were there.
I was like an industrial city, I don't really know much about that, or farms.
It was not, but yeah, 10 minutes outside. Yes.
How much did you go over to Missouri?
Well, I worked in Missouri. We lived on State Line, a block off State Line Road,
You do?
which runs north-south. So here you're in Kansas, and here you're in Missouri. But Kansas City, Missouri was the town, was the major part of the city. That's where Macy's headquarters were. Macy's, Kansas.
Haven't been in one.
Rockefeller.
I've heard Columbus is pretty slow too. Columbus.
Yeah.
Secrets,
Victoria's Secret.
chaps, and the men's was
Who's Big Lots?
right there too.
Who's that Chaz?
No,
You wanna go to Columbus? Chinese used to work.
Big Lots
They,
was,
it was crazy.
it wasn't dingy.
They didn't treat the guy well. But number two was like, no, the ice show was fine.
Okay.
It wasn't allowed to
Maybe she meant tomorrow.
Yeah.
Now, four
But she's
is
not here.
fine.
Four.
But that's split, right, it's
Yeah.
split
People are
between
going tonight,
the
and they're
company.
probably not gonna be.
Exactly, yeah.
They spend a lot of money
It's
marketing.
hard to have them come here and then expect them to come back at 7.
Is that when it starts, 7 o'clock?
I think so.
Basic house is $1.5 million.
Maybe it's not even the same people.
$60,000 to sell.
Hmm?
Maybe it's not even the same people who come
But it's
here.
split
No, it's definitely not the same people.
Yeah.
They're some.
Yeah, so 30 grand each party.
Is it always,
Which is-
her house, we used to
15
go.
per person.
No, 40% would be 60,000
Yes.
on 1.5 million.
Which is,
We're gonna
it's
say
split,
something. We should
well,
make
it's
So
15.
much.
CBS, right, right, you know.
Two.
Let's say the parent company, Daniel Gale, let's say is the lister.
Yeah.
The broker that works for Daniel Gale, the sales agent
The
that
house.
works for Daniel Gale,
Yeah.
gets their,
They get part, and the broker gets part.
but let's say Daniel Gale's the lister. They get half the commission. Somebody who works for them is the one who signs it up. So they get half of that.
Yeah, then they get the
Then
whole.
somebody from Laffey comes in. Laffey gets a quarter, and that person gets a quarter. So typically, it's split 4 ways.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry?
What's the percentage of
Yeah, but it's not,
They try to sign you up for 6,
so it's.
but they take 4, they take 3 now. Remember, the prices have gone up.
Yeah, so you negotiate with
It's candlelight was,
Or you can
well, yeah,
negotiate.
2 minutes, but candlelight
And they
was
say
5.2,
you get an offer.
so.
You have to
That
give
is
them
that,
5.
That's a little
Oh,
slow.
you know what? You kick in for the commission.
Yeah, yeah.
It's actually,
It's 5:17.
that's a
That's right, okay.
So technically, we have 3 minutes to get a meeting, but we're not gonna. Which gives us 3 minutes also to down our own.
Yeah, so you don't need me, we'll just have it on our own.
No, 7, I mean, you know, need, but it's also nice.
jail, I guess.
They don't have prisons.
There's no jail. So it's got-
So it's, what are you gonna do?
It's not monetary because it's debt, so debt is debt.
Okay, so,
Even though they will never condemn.
He's gotta marry the,
yeah, so. So do, is it too much? Is it not enough?
it's, I think it's maybe on the face of it too much.
It's the basis for the max, and then after that.
It's too much, yeah. Okay, so it's too much?
Not to me.
Not to David. David's like, yeah, kill the guy.
Because,
Okay.
Because a large part of the repercussions of your behavior
Mm-hmm.
should be as an example to the world. And if this is a recidivist ox, this ox is goring people, then it should be the person, the owner of it
Mm-hmm.
is responsible.
Especially
If that
since he
other
was
person
warned.
dies.
It's only when
And
he's-
it killed somebody. If it didn't kill a person,
has to be with
then
this, it's one.
just,
So, you said something about a message to the world,
yes.
which I like that idea, like that if you need to send a message about things. I'm wondering if the things I'm thinking about are the same as the things you're thinking about. So, in terms of what the message is. So what message, or what messages are we sending to the world when the person who is negligent to this degree is punished in this way?
That if you are negligent after being told what the repercussions of your negligence would likely be, first to somebody else and then to yourself, and you choose to be negligent, then, sorry, but you gotta go.
You're liable. Please.
I think, I'm not sure if the rabbis do it just a minute ago, but it sounds like this could be similar to like having a gun unlocked, having some kind of weapon that you know is dangerous, because this, it seems like what they're getting at is you should have, not just locked, not just guarding it, but maybe killing it, like maybe he should have killed it.
I have a good analogy, swimming pools.
What's that?
If you don't surround your swimming pool with there's a law that says you're supposed to fence your swimming
Yeah,
pool.
they call, what a,
Offense.
they call it a attractive nuisance, I think.
Now, I have
It's like, because it's, you have a pool, and it's attractive to the kids. So it's like, you have to take responsibility for
But,
the
you
people.
know, now, I think if you have a pool, you have to.
Oh, I think they're everywhere,
I mean,
4 feet high, but
sure.
so I think the message here, I mean, to me, one of the messages is about the value of life. That you, if you are so reckless with other people's lives, then you pay with your own. And that says something about how seriously we take, the respect for life.
On the other hand,
Yeah, exactly.
it's not gonna happen much.
Yeah, so, let's take a look. This is, we're gonna get to this little sugya, this little piece of the Gemara in just a second, but first, I brought 2 paragraphs that Rabbi Berkovitz wrote about the priority of the ethical in the halacha. Thanks. Okay? So the priority of the ethical in halacha. Now, of course, what's ethical to you might not be the same thing as what's ethical to me, so you have to say what that means, and he does that quickly. And then we can see how we apply it, okay? He says, we have seen how interrelated pragmatic and moral considerations are in the halacha. That we've seen how interrelated pragmatic and moral considerations are in the halacha. Right? You've got pragmatism about like what's practical, and you've got questions about what's moral. And we've looked at questions of both of those. In this section, we will address the power of the ethical in the halacha. In his Kuzari, the book, the Kuzari by Judah Halevi, which is a cool thing to read if you haven't, he writes, God forbid that anything in the Torah such as, and you shall do that which is right and good in the sight of God. So that's one verse from Devarim, right? I'm pretty sure Devarim. Its ways are ways of pleasantness, and all its paths are peace. And so the Torah's paths, A-S-I-N-P, right? Are ways of pleasantness and peace. So pleasantness and peace are also ethics of Torah that should apply to halacha. Or that you may walk in the way of good people and guard the paths of the righteous. So things that protect good people and the paths of the righteous. In summation of such principles, the Talmud would say, the Torah in its entirety exists for the sake of the ways of peace. Quite clearly, these principles and such an understanding of the meaning of the Torah give priority to the ethical demand. And so, when it comes to making the particular laws, the rules of halacha, these large ethical demands have a lot of priority and should be given a lot of weight. In what follows, I hope to show how this priority influences biblical interpretation, how it reaches out beyond strict legality, and how it even renders explicit biblical commandments inapplicable. So, there's a case that I didn't bring that that I want to explain as a way of, the sugya was a little complicated, it's hard to kind of grapple with, but let me just tell you about this one first, which is the case of chalitza. So does everyone know what chalitza is? Or yibum and chalitza? So when a couple gets married and the husband dies before they've had children, if he has a brother, that brother is supposed to marry his widowed former sister-in-law to continue his brother's name in the people of Israel. Now, it's been not just discouraged, it's been almost banned for a long time. The thing is that when you have yibum, which is that obligation, if for some reason the brother says, I don't want to, which he can, then they have to do a ceremony called chalitza, which is a very strange ceremony.
Does it apply if he's married?
Well, polygamy is possible back in these days, so yeah.
She can also refuse.
And she can refuse to. And they have to do chalitza, where, they take off his shoe, she spits in it, and says,
Still him, I'm sure.
yeah, it says, and such as a man who won't, extend his brother's life, the name of his brother or something like that. So it's embarrassing and shameful for pretty much everybody involved. And no
situation, what's important here is that she's already married to someone else, but they're supposed to still do chalitza. And they say, no way. We're not gonna put her through that because that would be, like, it's gonna be shame for her, shame for him. So, no chalitza in that situation. Even though, according to the letter of the Torah, it would suggest you have to, right? So there's a case where the ethic of avoiding shame, the rabbis feel empowers them to say, we're gonna not worry about that. And that's in this chapter. He brings it up earlier, it's just not quite as easy to get through the texts of it.
Is that the Levirate marriage?
Yes, yes. So, here we have another case, okay? Which is the case of the, the goring ox. They work with in the home, right? So in Sanhedrin. So why not say instead that it comes to teach, so this is all going about the verse that we just read, verse 29. If, however, that ox has been in the habit of goring, im shor hanagah, so it's a goring ox, mitmol shilshom from yesterday, who ad alo, and his owner has been made known, has been witnessed to him, below yishmerenu, and he doesn't guard over it, but he need ish, and he kills a man, o isha, or woman, ashur yisakel, begam be'alav yumat. Right? You have to stone to death the ox, and stoning is considered to be the worst way to die, in terms of the ways of capital punishment. And the owner you have to put to death. So it leaves that open, what kind of death it is. But they're going to ask, when they're asking questions, they're asking first based on how that verse is written. Okay?
Is judge liable? If he's found liable by the judge?
Yeah, no, they can find him liable, but do they have to put him to death? Is really the question.
It's just the death.
So they're going to try to use the wording of the pasuk in the Torah here. They're going to try to use the wording to make it so that you don't kill the owner, you just make him pay money for the value. They're going to try to make it so it's not a death penalty case. Okay? So if we look at it, so why not say instead that it, that's the verse that we just read, comes to teach that the owner of the ox is liable to receive the death penalty, which is what it simply seems to be saying. Rabbi responded, if so, let it write in the same verse only. So saying if that's exactly what it means, then let it just say, the ox shall be stoned and also its owner. Right? If you wanted to be as clear as possible so there would be no reason to think otherwise, you'd say stone the ox and also its owner, right? Because that's the fewest amount of words. There's no space for misunderstanding. And let it be silent and not say more. Don't add more words, right? It would be clear that the owner is also to be put to death. Since the verse added the explicit term, shall be put to death, it's clear that the intention is to teach that just as the manner of the death of the owner, so is the manner of the death of the ox. Now, how that gets you out of it is another question.
You know the ox did it, so if he did it,
Yeah,
you stone him.
you stone the ox. Yep.
Now, that's in front of the Sanhedrin.
Hmm?
That's in front of the Sanhedrin, we can judge it.
There's definitely a technical question that just.
And then after that, you go to judge the owner, and you're
Yeah.
gonna have to prove that
We take,
ox is gory, that
we take
he
pride
was
in that,
warm, that
that we kill animals, that we slaughter animals
say, if it had been written this way, this is what it would have meant, to point out what the verse that's not written that way doesn't necessarily mean, right? So, had the merciful one written the verse in this manner, I would say that the owner is executed by stoning. The Gemara, right, so that, which would be a problem, because we're trying to get out of that. The Gemara rejects this. Would it enter your mind? But anytime it says would it enter your mind, we know that what's coming after it is a mistaken idea. Would it enter, it's like your mother saying to you, are you really gonna think that this is a good idea? Would it enter your mind to say he should be executed by stoning? If he killed the person himself, he would be executed by the sword. Right? So if you commit murder, then you are killed by the sword, which is considered to be a lighter punishment. That's like an easier form of death, would be being killed by the sword, beheaded, but rather than stoned, which I think, if we had to make that choice, that sounds probably like it's an easier way to go. So if his property killed the victim, could he be given the more severe execution by stoning? Right? So they're going, so here's, you got some logic going on, right? Because it just doesn't make sense. The Gemara asks, but perhaps this term that the merciful one wrote, shall be put to death, is to be lenient with him, to remove his sentence from the category of execution by the sword, and instead to sentence him to death by strangulation. Like if we're going to say you can take it out of the category of stoning, well then we can just go the easiest form of execution, at least from theoretically, rabbinically speaking. You know, they have the hierarchy, which I think is just based on their own ideas, not practical stuff. That works out well according to the one who, what?
If you crush someone's head with a heavy stone,
Yeah.
I would imagine the death is pretty quick and painless.
That's if you hit right, you know. That's, you got hit though, you know.
It has to be the same stone, so you get it back.
Wait, we gotta go pick it up. So he's saying that works out well according to the one who says that strangulation is more severe than the sword, right? Because they disagree. There's disagreement. Some people say one is a better way to die. Others say the other way. So how are you gonna solve this if you have a disagreement about which is the easiest way to die? So according to the opinion that there is no place for such a claim, as the punishment is certainly not more severe than that of an actual murder. But according to the one who says that strangulation is a lighter punishment, what can you say? Right? Because you can't say it's sword if it should be strangulation. It would be easier. The Gemara, because that's, if you're giving a murder against a sword, you know, then it's got to be a lighter thing for just negligence. The Gemara responds, it would not enter your mind to think this, as it is written, if a ransom be placed upon him, then he shall give for the redemption of his life whatever is placed upon him, which is the next verse, by the way. And if it enters your mind, I don't know what, so that somehow takes that away. And if it enters your mind to say that he is liable to receive the death penalty, that verse would not be understood for the following reason. But isn't it written, you shall take no ransom for the life of a murderer who is convicted to die, for he shall be put to death? Since in this case there is a ransom payment, it is clear that there's no actual death penalty involved. So there, right? Now this line of reasoning is rejected, so you can forget the fact that it's a little confusing and convoluted, because it's rejected anyway. On the contrary, the additional phrase in the verse is necessary due to this argument itself. If one killed a person himself, it would not be enough for him to make a payment of money. He must be punished only with actual execution. But if his ox killed someone, I would say he should redeem himself with money, that if he does not pay money, he would receive the death penalty. Rather, the matter cannot be decided on the basis of these verses, and it must be proven by what Hizkiah said. And so the school of Hizkiah sew to the owner.
I don't believe that.
That's as concise as you can be.
But that's determining the matter of death.
Yes, no,
But the Torah doesn't determine the matter of death.
no, I know, 100%, but just in terms of if the verse, we're rewriting the verse, right? So if we're rewriting the verse to be as uncontrovertible as possible and concise, this is all theoretical, it's not like for reals. It's just like, if we wanted it to be as concise and clear as possible, that both are to be killed, and you say, you kill the ox and so to the owner. But, it's not.
By the way, they mentioned strangulation, and I forgot the name. Is there a point in the Torah where they say, you will be strangled, you will be a...
There's a couple places where people, there are, like,
I
yeah.
thought it was only the stoning and...
Stoning, if it's kind of.
We're getting more violent. No, but I mean, in the Torah, lead, hot lead? Oh, that's for the
Yeah.
sota, right?
So if you might find interesting though, this next thing, which is readily, I think, understandable. It's, it all has to do with customs around how we mourn and how we treat people and families of who are in mourning, and ways in which things used to be unequal in a way that would be embarrassing, and how they changed them so that everyone would be treated equitably, which is, also a moral policy. So that one is a nice one because it is what we still do, right? That's when we're all supposed to be buried in Tafritim, in the shroud, and also in just in plain pine box. If we use a coffin at all, in plain pine box, because we should all. Well, we can dot and, yeah, I'll be right back. Close enough. Another 2 minutes.
You guys in the jungle,
What's that?
you guys in the jungle, you had captured by a native tribe, and they were tied up, and they gave them the first word. You choose death or bongo bongo. And he said, I don't know what death is. Bongo bongo. So they hit him up a tree and they dragged him over a stone. And for hours and days, they was just like, and had sex with him. So he's dead. And they
That's
come
it.
back from the next guy and they said, well, death or bongo bongo. He said, death. And the chief says, death by bongo bongo.
So this guy Michael goes to his psychiatrist for 4 years because he has a fear of monsters under his bed. He's a grown man, but he's got a fear of monsters under his bed. Psychiatrist for 4 years, he's going to the doctor. You don't interrupt jokes.
Sorry.
So he's going to the same doctor for 4 years, no progress. Finally, after 4 years, like, listen, you're a great doctor. This has been helpful in a lot of other ways, but it's just not getting it done. So I think we should stop. So they stop. Doctor sees him in the mall, the Union, and he looks like alive and healthy. Everything's great. Goes up to him, Michael, like, how you doing? What's going on? Oh, it's wonderful. Like, I solved that whole problem. How did you solve it? Well, I saw another psychiatrist. You went to another psychiatrist? He said, yeah, no, I went to one visit. One visit? What happened? Well, I went and this guy, he's a behaviorist. And he said, at the end of my first session, I told him all about the problems, all about our work. At the end of the first session, okay, here's what you're going to do. You're going to go home. You're going to cut the legs off your bed and call me again if you have a problem. I haven't had a phone since.
So parking lot, the name calling,
Just look, just ignore it.
It's like Palestinian chicken.
he posted something.
Remember Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Oh, this was real.
I know.
That was a good one.
No, but the guy I think owns it is.
This was great chicken.
Yeah,
Palestinian.
Palestinian, right?
People
People
know
are
Palestinian.
So
Oh,
130,
Muslim.
137, we can dive in Mari on our own.
You know, you have public people, you're supposed to say it, or let them say it. Give her, yeah. Did it? You got an easy ride so far tonight, so.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen, borei peri hagafen. Lai lai la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei minei vesamim, borei minei vesamim. Lai lai la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei meorei haesh, borei meorei haesh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamavdil ben kodesh lechol, ben or lechoshev, ben Yisrael la'amim, ben yom hashvi'i l'sheshet yemei ha'maseh. Baruch atah Adonai, hamavdil ben kodesh lechol. Shavua tov, Shavua tov, Shavua tov, Shavua tov, Shavua tov, Shavua tov. Maybe you want to consider. Shavua tov. See you tomorrow.
Mine got you, nope, I got you.
It was Ed and Steve Goldstein. That's the guy.
Yeah, Goldstein.
And it was the one I'm using is Mallory Alexander.
Yes.
Yeah, you know that. All right.